Yo, it's Sfrenza here today. I just want to do a tier list for season 1.5 because why not? This also coming from the perspective of a Celestial player, so let's get into it. We're starting off with our tanks first. First off, Captain America, solid A tier. He has great survivability. He almost never dies. Uh, his damage is like mediocre, but it's enough to be a threat that they have to answer. Even though he doesn't get many kills, he's always an issue for the enemy team and annoying the hell out of them. Great movement. It's very solid ultimate. It's like a mini support ult. Free 200 over health and movement speed for anybody around you is great. Keeps him alive too. He's very good in dive comps, especially with a Venom and then like a Spider-Man or Magic, who are two other very good characters in the damage role. Can absolutely run lobbies. The thing that his main downside is he cannot solo tank, and he doesn't work that amazingly with some other like just team comps and stuff like that, right? Like if they're running full anti-dive, he can't really do anything without anyone else helping him. But he's very good. He's very good. Has a high skill ceiling too. Strange is the best tank in the game. He has everything. Insanely high burst damage. Great way of negating damage with his shield. Portal is an amazing cooldown that gets you back into fights almost instantly, especially in clutch overtime scenarios, and can also help you position to get to point faster in beginning of the match scenarios as well if you choose to do that. Um, yeah, there's nothing bad about him. He has a really great ultimate too. Really good. He can stun everybody in the area, and he's guaranteed every time he gets an ultimate that he's guaranteed to kill like two people with his ultimate. I feel like every time he uses it. What? Sorry, not guaranteed. Out of every, if he's stunned a bunch of people, he's guaranteed to kill two. Is what I'm saying, at least. So very strong. You have to block it or iframe it, otherwise you will just lose on the spot. Very great character. He just works in every situation. I'm yapping too much. Let me move on. Groot is a also another very good character that works in almost every situation. Walls are very good. He has an amazing ultimate that combos with other characters into insta kills, like Namor, for example. Um, yeah, has a high health pool, can survive very easily, has just high damage with his primary attacks too. Walls are just very good for denying heals and helping your team get picks by walling off tanks and stuff and forcing people out of position. He has a lot of options, and I think he's very good. Hulk, similar to Captain America, very solid dive tank. Very solid. He has a shield that's a little bit on the weaker end, but he can apply it to like his whole team if they're diving with him, which makes it very good. He has stupid high mobility if you're really good at him. He can be a menace to kill sometimes. Damage is actually pretty alright for the most part. He has a really good CC, and um, his ultimate is just a free, like, get out of jail free card. Just pop it when you're low, when you overextend or you mess up or you get bursted, and you can usually get out of situations just fine or continue to dive if needed. You have a lot of options off of it. So yeah, I think he has a lot of potential. He cannot solo tank. I forgot to mention that about Strange and Groot. They can solo tank. Hulk cannot solo tank. He will get rolled. Next up, we got Magneto. Same as Strange. Great all around character. Amazing ultimate that counters support ults. Decent damage. Great shield and survivability. Can solo tank. He's just a great all rounder. Can peel very well with his bubbles. He's just a very solid character that works in every situation. It's high damage, good ultimate. Let's just leave it at that. Penny doesn't really do anything. She has no way of negating damage, really. She just gets shot and gets rolled over. As soon as her nest is broken, she's screwed. Like, she can't really do anything. And it's not that hard to break it. She has, like, almost no mobility. Her damage is not that high. Her health is kind of low. She's just not very good. She has a niche against, like, some, like, anti-dive, but even then it's like she needs other characters to help her with it. She cannot do it on her own. I'm not saying she's like a throw pick, but it's like, yeah, not the best option. Thor, I think, is like a B tier character. He's definitely way up. He's definitely above average. I just don't think he's as good as the ones up here. His ultimate low key kind of sucks. You can get out of it with most characters in the game, like no issues at all. It's okay if you combo it with some other things, I think, but still high investment and kind of inconsistent. Um, his damage is really high, but his movement is very slow. He can really only just kind of dash at you, which grants him overhealth for survivability, but I feel like he's kind of just a walking ult battery with just a bad ult. He cannot solo tank. Um yeah, he's kind of like the off tank that's just there for extra damage, but he doesn't really excel too much at a lot of things in my opinion, so I just don't think he has enough strengths to warrant being matched with these ones because the only thing he really does is high damage. Like he gets kills, but that's it. And he can survive in some scenarios, but other than that, he kind of gets rinsed by really high damage dealing characters because really cannot negate damage easily. The thing is, up here, he, for one, avoids Wolverine. I forgot to mention that Magneto. Running Magneto and Thing together basically tells Wolverine to go screw himself because Wolverine is basically throwing into Magneto Thing, but which is great for tank players. Thing has really high damage, solid ult, good survivability, pretty solid anti-dive if I'm honest, and can peel for his team really well with his Earthbound ability. Uh yeah, he has good movement, big health pool, and I already mentioned high damage. Yeah, just a very all around great character. Venom, I out of the three, these like the three dive tanks. I'm putting Venom above Captain America because Venom technically does like more damage, can get kills more often than Captain America, but I don't think Venom's better than Hulk. Venom is codependent on Spider-Man. If you don't have Spider-Man, I feel like Venom doesn't really do anything, and he's just a tickle monster. Like sometimes he can get away with stuff, but more often than not, Venom is just a tickle monster without Spider-Man helping him out. Vice versa with Spider-Man. The nice thing about Venom is he just doesn't die. Venom has an insane amount of health, so you will never die. His ult, I still think, is not good at all. It has a one situational use with a combo with his tether, but that's about it. Um, yeah, he definitely mostly just he doesn't die is what makes him pretty good, and yeah, he's just a very great dive character, an absolute menace to backlines. I'll give them heart attacks. I'm just gonna move on because I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, he's a solid character. Solid character. Black Panther. He's okay. I think out of all the dive characters, he's probably the worst. I'll reevaluate that once I get further on. Yeah, well, mostly because of the bug where he does no damage, really hurts him. Uh, anti-dive characters like Namor render him useless. He just gets completely annihilated by a lot of support cooldowns and can't kill anything. His ult is very bad, in my opinion. I don't think Bast is a very good ult. He kind of just doesn't do anything with it. He has pretty good survivability though. He can get in and out really well if they're a good Black Panther, but he's gonna spend most of the time just tickling them and not doing enough compared to other dive characters like Magic who will get kills consistently. He really only works if like if you're playing with a full dive comp like Venom, Cap, Spider-Man, Magic, or something like that. That's the only way he's really gonna do a lot because by himself or like maybe with like one other, he's not gonna be doing a lot, and he gets hard countered by too many characters. Namor, Bucky, Penny, technically. Just looking at this roster, Loki, Mantis, Invisible Woman, Adam because of Soul Bond. So yeah, he's not very good. Black Widow, Black Widow's down here because I don't think she's an absolute throw pick. I think a good Black Widow can actually do well. She has a really good CC and a near insta kill, so you know, if you have good aim, you can make it work, and by getting headshots, you can get tons of picks with her. Her ultimate is terrible. Yes, it doesn't do anything. Well, it does something, but it's really not worth it. This character is low key here with Mantis, but I'm gonna assume that you don't have Mantis every game, so C. But if you have Mantis, the ability insta kill is inherently strong, so yes, B tier. And I'm not gonna accept arguments for anything lower with Mantis, but without Mantis, yeah, C tier. You just don't really do enough. That these next two characters don't do better. Which Hawkeye, uh, mm, I'm debating on this because there's a little bit of bias because I mean Scarlet Witch, so I inherently hate Hawkeye because he just allows me to never ult. Um, unless I have a Magneto. I'm gonna put him here. Uh, I'm gonna put him here. He has the ability to one shot, which is inherently good. You cannot argue that. If you can one shot, you're inherently at least a pretty good character. Usually, I mean with your primary, by the way, just like one shot headshotting people. I know there's other insta kills in the game, but that doesn't count, right? I'm talking about with a primary. Um, yeah, he has really good pressure, very high damage, can deal with flyers oh pretty decently, even though there's better characters for it. It's pretty decent. His ult is also very good. Just in the actual just because it's free damage, rapid fire body shots around corners. It's really easy to use. Um in the neutral game, he's such a threat. You have to play so afraid of him and respect the fact that he's there. He is kind of weak to dive. His anti-dive isn't really there. If he gets jumped by a bunch of people, he's not really doing much. Uh, although, but he still can one-shot the divers. It's just not easy. So I'm gonna put him high B. I think that makes sense. I could accept an argument for like low A if I'm honest, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Leave him there for now. Hela, yeah, I don't think I have to explain this. Her ult's broken, her damage is broken, having no damage fall off is inherently broken. She has an amazing CC. She makes flyers unplayable. Yeah, pick her or ban her is what everybody says, and I agree with them. The fact that she's still, why I don't know why they removed her damage fall off. That was the dumbest decision they ever made. Whatever. You can't argue his character's not overpowered as hell. Iron Fist is actually a pretty good character in my opinion. He has high survivability. He is a good backline flanker who doesn't die that easily because he can get up to like 500 or something health. Um, his ult is actually okay. Is actually surprisingly okay. You have to deal with him because you can't get away from him because his melees will always lock onto you before you can really run away, with the exception of some characters. But for the majority of the cast, you can't really get away from him. Uh, okay damage. He is pretty good on the front line too. If you're playing hella aggressive on tanks, you can definitely chunk out some damage on tanks. I just think there's better picks than him, but he's overall solid. And yeah, I've seen some good Iron Fists absolutely run lobbies. Absolutely run lobbies. Iron Man, I'm also gonna put here. Mostly because when we get later on, there's just overall better. Do I even want to say that though? Yeah, yeah, we're putting Iron Man here. Let's put Iron Man right here, actually. Let's put Iron Man here because he's extremely weak to Hela and some other characters. I think Star-Lord kind of screws him. I think Punisher, Bucky, you get the picture, right? There's a lot of characters that can deal with him, especially Hela. But overall his beam is pretty decent. It's pretty decent. His with Gamma Ray, it's not as good anymore. If it was still Gamma Ray was as good, I'd put him here. Actually, I'd probably put him at like the very top of here. Nah, actually, I put him here. Gamma Ray before was insanely good, but I think it was better on Strange, which is also another reason Strange is S tier. I forgot to mention because with Hulk, that Gamma team up is insane on Strange. Um, Overall, just in the actual neutral though, his damage isn't anything crazy. He gets deleted by hit scan. His But although he does decent damage, he can actually well work. But Maximum Pulse, I still think is an amazing ult, especially against Invisible Woman when we get to that. I've noticed with I'm not, this isn't really a skill issue on the Magneto's end, but when Magneto's usually ult Invisible Woman's, they have to really predict Invisible Woman because you have to direct hit, pretty much direct hit with Magneto, and Invisible Woman's invisible, or you can't even see inside the ult because maybe you're not inside of it yet when you're ulting or whatever. Iron Man is very good at dealing with that. Maximum Pulse, I think, is what makes this character pretty good, but he has really high damage output with Beam as well, which also gives him potential, but like I said, just weak to flyers. That's what really hurts him. Magic up here, she's the best dive DPS in the game. Besides maybe Psylocke. Psylocke's ult sucked. We'll get to that. Dark by default, she does insanely high damage, can kill through support ults if you're skilled enough at her. She is a support player's worst nightmare. She has really high survivability, good iframes, high as hell damage, gets a bunch of overhealth just for hitting, just getting hits. Gets in and out very well with good mobility. Darkchild is a really good high damage ult. Yeah, she's a backline's worst nightmare. She will get stuff done for you. Moon Knight, yeah, he's not that good. We have gotten better at the video game as a player base. Ankh is not scary at all. In the beginning of the game, Ankh was scary. Now we've evolved. We're good at the game now, or we understand the game better. Ankh is so easy to counter. Just don't stand so close together against a Moon Knight, and he doesn't do anything. He really doesn't. He's not that scary as long as you're not Giga clustered. And if you have eyes and can shoot an Ankh. If you can navigate your way to the settings menu, you should be able to deal with an Ankh. I'm sorry. His ult low-key sucks now. You need like a Groot combo to really make it work, or the enemy team just to not be paying attention. It's too slow now. But even before, I thought it was reactable on most characters, but even now, it's so reactable. Like I was playing against it yesterday, and I reacted slowly to it and still walked out of it from the dead center before I died without healing. I think that ult is terrible now. That change they made to it just made it bad. He fell off. He is also insanely weak to dive. He gets dove really easily. Namor, yeah, tied for the best damage in the game. This character is broken. If you think he's not, then I think you're crazy. Honestly, I might make a tier above this for pick ban. I put Hela and Namor up there, but I'm not going to be extra. I'm just going to leave the list as normal. His turrets are insanely good. They require attention, do high damage. Namor does high damage. All he has to do is turret, right click, left click, you're dead. You're just dead. Congratulations. The Namor practically insta-killed you because his turrets did half the damage for him. And this is excluding Luna team up. With team up, he's even better, by the way. Yeah, the Luna team up. By the way, if anybody thinks without the Luna team up, Namor is unplayable, you're just wrong because of what I said. He does high damage. He has good survivability with his shift, and it also counts him as on objectives and can contest. He can be healed in that shift, so he practically gets a full heal every time he uses it. His ult is also very good. Earthbound is such a good status effect because you cannot get out of it. And if any squishy gets, let's say like the squishies don't get one shot and you didn't combo with like Groot or whatever, right? And you just YOLO'd it. If a squishy got hit by that, there's a good chance they just die outright because they're at 50 health unless they get shielded by like a mag or something or soul bonded. Assuming no one else got hit or like, that you can be healed in that scenario or shielded or like whatever happens, right? You're going to die to it. You cannot move out of it, or you just take a ton of damage and you have to use so many cooldowns to counter the after effects of it. It's just so good. Also screws over dive characters heavily. Dive characters cannot play against this character. Spider-Man loses, Black Panther loses, Magic loses. Honestly, Psylocke loses to Namor. He's just such a good character. You can play him anywhere. Attack, defense. You can flank as Namor. I've seen that work because he has high damage. It's yeah, dude, just an amazing character. Honestly, ban him every game. Psylocke, who I just moved to A. She does really high damage. She has really good survivability, really good mobility. I think her ult is terrible. Um, like it gets value, right? It does. But there's so many things that get in the way of it. So many characters who are really good have iframes or some like high movement to instantly get out of it. Loki, I'm gonna get to once I get to supports. I'll explain how Loki screws over Psylocke ult heavily. But yeah, other than her ult being low key terrible, she does a ton, especially with the magic team up being able to teleport's very good. Her right click giving her some overhealth is also very good. Really high damage for insta kills. Okay against flyers. Okay, she's not the best, but she's pretty okay against flyers. So yeah, I'm gonna leave her there. I think it's a good spot for her. Next up, Mr. Fantastic. They just nerfed him for some reason. I don't know why. Mr. Fantastic is bad. His ult does nothing. His damage is not that high. He's not that threatening. His shift or whatever, the one where he goes all big and walks at you like, like a stretchy guy, is okay because he can survive everything for like 3 seconds, but that's about it. His mobility isn't that great. His inflated state isn't that scary either. It doesn't, he kind of just tickles you and it's a big just shoot me, right? I know some good Mr. Fantastics make him work, but every other character just does so much more than he does. So I actually want them to make Mr. Fantastic better. I think he's a fun as hell character, but he's just not good. Spider-Man is up here. With Venom, by the way. With Venom, he's up here. I'm gonna say this right now. Venom and Spider-Man are A tier with each other. They're B tier without each other. But yeah, I think these two are. Do I think these two? Yeah, these two are better than Spider-Man. Definitely better than Spider-Man. Um, yeah, Spider-Man can insta kill, which is very good. Can hit, has very high mobility, very hard to kill. His ult is meh. His ult is very meh. But when he has Venom up and is running with a dive comp, he just runs lobbies if there's no Namor. Like he banned Namor, he runs lobbies. He just goes in, insta kills your squishies, and gets out. And then he rinse repeats over and over. He has so much potential if you have the right bans. Ban Namor, ban Invisible Woman. If Loki gets banned, that's even better. And Bucky is starting to get banned, which finally people are waking up to how broken that character is. I've been saying that since the end of season 0, the character's overpowered. But people are banning Bucky now, which screws over Spider-Man, so yeah. He's a very good character with Venom, so I'm gonna leave him there. Squirrel Girl's an underrated character. She actually has some skill shot abilities to like CC dive characters and just kill them outright, which is actually pretty okay. She does really high damage. I think her ult is actually very good too. It's just so much free damage, and you have to turn and shoot it and answer it, or you have to use a bunch of cooldowns to out heal it. So it does good damage, and in some scenarios, bounces off of walls instantly, like doing triple the damage it should, pretty much in half a second. So yeah, that's inherently very strong about her. I just think when a Squirrel Girl in general, she spends a lot of time just spamming down choke points, which just feeding ult charge to enemy supports, which is why I think she isn't that amazing. Her mobility is also okay. It's just when you catch her, she's not that hard to 1v1 in a way. Because if she doesn't land her CC, she's going to have a little bit of a harder time hitting you. And you'll kind of just destroy her or burst her down really fast. But I think she's definitely an okay character and has her uses and can work pretty well. Besides her just feeding ult charge. Star-Lord, easily the best in A tier, I believe. Maybe. Amazing iframes, really high mobility. He is a flyer, so he kind of gets destroyed by Hela. But he can make it work with his iframes. His ult is amazing. It just wipes people. You have to, if you don't have a defensive ult up, you just lose to Star-Lord ult. He has a lot of just damage output and he's just so much damage output and mobility and just iframes. He's so hard to kill. On top of that, the freaking team up with Adam is so good for him. It's ridiculous. Oh, on top of him being a flyer, it's hit scan. I forgot to mention that he's a hit scan flyer. He's the only one that is like that, so that's also a benefit. But yeah, the team up is insanely stupid on him as well. But yeah, he's just a really all around great character. Storm, I'm actually putting here, because Hella's so good and she screws over Storm. I don't think she's as great. Uh, she's also weak to some dive characters like Spider Man, just rendering her useless. But I don't think she can be put any lower than this because she does insane damage. And her ult, if you don't defensive ult her ult, your backline's just dead. Congratulations. If you did not have a support ult to counteract her ult, your supports are dead. Congratulations. There's nothing they can do about it. Um, yeah, her team up with Johnny low key puts her like up here, but you're never gonna get this because this is rate Johnny. Johnny sucks. Actually, no. I think that's Cap. Nah, it's Cap. Johnny is not a good character, by the way, but I don't think he's actually unplayable. Johnny actually does solid damage. But let me finish off a Storm really quick. With the team up, Storm's ult is actually broken. But let's move on. Let's transition into Human Torch now. He is an okay character. He's a flyer, so again, weak to Hela. He'll get absolutely dominated by Star Lord. Hawkeye maybe because he's slow, so Hawkeye would really easily hit him if their Hawkeye's good. Even this character would kind of destroy Human Torch low key. I think this character would absolutely destroy Human Torch. So yeah, let's put this here. Um, Human Torch is really good damage. Actually, he has some area denial, which is good. AOE effects. Has it's situational, but he can also one shot with his slam with a bunch of fire spites. It's rare, but it works sometimes. His ult is mediocre as well. Actually, that's kind of a lie. His ult's actually okay. Like, it's actually pretty okay. Uh, his main issue is that he's so easy to kill. When you're playing him, you just die. Like, if he was faster, if they buffed his movement speed, he'd at least be here, right? Maybe change his numbers a bit so like his fire on the ground does a little bit more. Like, honestly, I never even notice it because it doesn't do enough, right? Maybe make his fire on the ground better. But with just a movement speed buff alone, he'd be right here. He's just so easy to kill out of the sky. And if he's on the ground, he does nothing. So he has to be in the sky, and then he just gets deleted. Like, every character in the game just destroys him, pretty much, unless they're melee. And even then, some of them, like freaking Spider-Man, will swing up to Johnny and insta-kill him. So, yeah, he's definitely down here right now, though. He just doesn't do enough. Punisher, let's put you up here. Punisher is insane. He, especially with the Rocket team up, dude. The Rocket team up just destroys so many people. But yeah, he counters flyers very well. Hit scan. He has pretty solid movement, by the way, with his grappling hook and his bomb, his smoke bomb launcher, whatever you want to call it. Shotgun form is really good for up close, dealing damage and brawling if needed. It's not his best thing ever, but it's solid. He absolutely destroys Groot walls. He can destroy Hulk. He can destroy Thing because they don't have shields. Destroys like Thor and Penny because like they can't block his damage and it's so high. His ult is amazing, especially with the Rocket team up. It just kills through support ults. Plus his ult is CC immune, and his turret's amazing too. I think people have told me his turret's not that good. The fact that his turret can tank any insta-kill just by pressing it, and then you're full health when you get off of it is inherently good. You can set up after capping point, just do a ton of damage, and they have to shoot you, which you don't take damage while doing, and you're completely CC immune again. Um, it has splash damage as well. He does everything well, and with Rocket team up, it's broken. Groot will never be able to use his walls. He's a really good anti-tank. He also can destroy shields like Doctor Strange's pretty well, although it's not nothing like worth mentioning that much compared to like Groot walls not existing. Bucky is honestly better than Punisher. Bucky's broken. Low key. Do I honestly? Yeah, Bucky does more. Bucky is a mini Wolverine with his hook when it comes to tanks. Hook a tank, turn around 180, bring the tank to your back line just to melt them. His projectile is amazing. It slows, does damage. Uh, it does decent damage, I mean, and it slows, so it's overall pretty solid. His ult, if he gets again, you lost the team fight. Just saying, if he gets again, you lost the team fight. You have to defensive ult it 9 times out of 10 unless you can absolutely make the biggest save of your life. Otherwise, he's getting again and wiping your whole team. Uh, the Rocket team up doesn't benefit him as much, to be honest, but it's okay. He can one shot squishies with his hook, really high damage just with gun alone. All of his cooldowns give him over health, so he has amazing survivability. And they reload his gun, which allows him to do even more damage. So yeah, he's just so good. Honestly, I don't want to put him here because I don't think he's as stupid as Hela and Namor, but he's literally like number three, definitely when it comes to damage characters. Sorry, number four. Actually, do I even put? Okay, look, I play tank by the way. I main like I'm pretty much a Scarlet Witch one trick. Like almost. I play other characters. Like I can play tank very well in my opinion, but I mostly play Scarlet Witch, so Wolverine isn't a big deal to me. But when I play tank, I don't think this guy is as threatening as people make him out to be. Plus, Magneto, Thing, and Strange are the three best tanks in the game, and they can counterplay Wolverine relatively well, especially Magneto, and he can't even do anything against Thing, but Magneto and Strange aren't even bad into Wolverine. If you're playing this one, low key, even this one, or this one, Wolverine just rolls you. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. But these three being so good, I cannot put Wolverine up here. Because, yeah, honestly, I think situationally, he's like right here, but low key, he's probably at the bottom of A. Because, like, he can work against these two, but it's not as consistent. But in the only roles, like the other ones that aren't as popular or a little more situational than these three. You know what I mean? His abilities don't do anything to like Hela, Namor. Like these two are gonna destroy him. Bucky's low-key gonna destroy him. He does nothing against Storm, nothing against Star-Lord. Punisher will shred him on line of sight. Like, sure, Wolverine can like kill a tank, but then 90, like the rest of the time he's feeding. Like, I think this character's overrated. I'm not that scared of him. The only time I'm scared of him is when I'm playing Hulk. That is it. That is literally the only time I am scared of Wolverine. I've played other tanks. I've played Magneto. I play Venom. He's my most played tank. I've dabbled in Captain America. I'm not scared of Wolverine when I'm unless I'm playing Hulk. Really, I've kind of gotten destroyed by Wolverine a few times as Cap, but I suck at Cap. So there's that. I think he's a little overrated, but he's definitely not bad. He's a very good character. Wanda is the worst character in the game. This isn't even me downplaying because she's my main. I climbed to Celestial pretty much only playing Scarlet Witch. Um, she's horrible. Her damage output is bad. Her projectiles are okay, but they're not consistent enough. Her iframes with her fades are pretty decent, but Spider-Man's insanely strong and he negates her fades, by the way. I'm not going to tell you how it works. I don't want more Spider-Mans doing it to me, but yeah, Spider-Man can negate her fades. Um her ult is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Has way too much counterplay. There's too much counterplay to her ult. And since I have most of my playtime on her, I can go really deep into this. But give me 1 second. Let me list off normal things. And her CC is not that good. Her CC is not good. You can put it at a choke for a second. Sure, it stalls like a team. But what are they going to do? They're just going to walk past it with like a shield or just jump past it really quick, take a tiny bit of damage, heal that damage, and you did nothing. It's so hard to stun people on reaction with it too. Like with Luna, you just freeze when you see them, right? With Wanda, you have to predict where they're going to go, detonate it where you think they're going to stay, and then hope it hits them if they didn't move out of the way of it, or it didn't get shielded, or they didn't already move past it because you have to play around shields. Like stunning some ults is really hard. Like, dude, I've only stunned a Spider-Man out of his ult like twice on reaction, right? which is already hard enough to do. Yeah, it's not good against divers because it's so hard to hit it against divers. Yeah, it's not that good. Her ult it has too much counterplay. The only way her ultimate can work is with Magneto. She is so codependent on Magneto existing, and you need a good Magneto with comms to make her work most of the time. I made her work solo queuing with like, cause I have voice chat turned off. I've made her work solo queuing, but I duo queue with a Magneto main usually, and it makes the character so much better. Bubble for her ult doesn't let her die to Hela instantly. Doesn't let Bucky hook her out of it instantly, or when she's about to detonate. Doesn't let Star-Lord fly up and burst her out of it, which I've had happen and I can't really do much about. With the overhealth changes, it's not as consistent, but before it would happen, but now with the overhealth's not as consistent, but I've had it done to me before. Punisher would team up, will laser her out of the air. Spider-Man can literally just swing in and grab her instantly. This character is the bane of my existence, dude. I swear to God. Just swing anywhere, grab me out of my ult. There's nothing I can do about it unless I have Magneto Bubble. Magneto Bubble prevents this. That's the only way this ult works. Or situationally Mantis ults, but that requires another ult, and then even then you'll still need a Magneto Bubble, but Mantis ult actually makes Scarlet Witch ult better because of movement speed. She's too slow. Other characters, Hawkeye won't let you use it. Penny, like, Penny sucks, but I hate playing against her because I play Wanda. I can't ult against Penny. She can miss her cooldown on, like, if I ulted and I'm already peeking, she could miss her cooldown and then still stun me before it goes off. She has 2 chances technically to stun me. I need a Magneto Bubble. Other things like Cloak and Dagger can cloak it. Loki can ruin it. This one can CC me. This one can shove me away. Like, there's too much. There's too much counterplay to it. Other things like Star-Lord iframing it, no, it's bad. There's so many characters that are higher up. She can't 1v1. She's bad against Namor. She has to spend so much. She has to use her projectiles to destroy his squids, so she can't do high damage. To follow up, she has to use her beam to get her projectiles back to actually somewhat make up for her not having any burst damage, especially when Namor has the Luna team up. As she loses to Hela outright, Hela will just destroy her. Bucky destroys her. She can't escape Bucky's one-shot combo unless he delays it and messes up. She's Storm just out-damages her. There's better characters into Storm, but it's not the worst thing ever. Star-Lord screws her. Punisher is okay. She cannot kill magic. She gets too much health and iframes too much. Psylocke out-damages her. She's, believe it or not, this is not that like favorite of a matchup. The only like reason people think Wanda's good against Spider-Man is if you're camping next to your supports, you can start damaging him as he's swinging in and screw him. But any other scenario, Spider-Man low-key just kind of destroys you. This matchup might as well not exist. This matchup sucks. This matchup's low-key kind of free. Unless the Iron Man has insanely good beam tracking, then he's a little bit harder, but he's not that hard to beat. Iron Fist, she takes forever to kill. Squirrel Girl, low-key's fine. BP is like a mixed bag. Usually you force them just to run away. Moon Knight is actually really easy. Human Torch is actually free. Because this is actually probably Wanda's best matchup because he can't move out of the sky and you just destroy him instantly, but he just sucks. Yeah, Wanda's not a good character. She needs so much stuff. She is in between. She gets moved to the bottom of C if you have Magneto, but without Magneto, she's the worst character in the game. She needs Magneto. Plus the team up she gives Magneto is low-key broken. It is low-key broken. My Magneto duo loves this team up so much. So much. It literally gives them so much kills. It's so good. But this character so codepends on Magneto. Adam, this character's downplayed. He's insanely good. Soul Bond's amazing. His damage is really high. Soul Bond, it's mostly Soul Bond, and his damage being really high. Like, his ult is okay. His ult is meh, right? Okay, it's actually be kind of fair because most Adam players suck. Let's put on top of B. But it's like, Soul Bond is amazing. It is so good against dive, which you have really strong dive characters, right? Even Star-Lord I'll put there, right? Really strong dive characters. And Soul Bond's great against that. He does high damage, so he does really high poke damage. Rez can literally save games if timed right, and he keeps triple support alive so easily. It amplifies one of the most in so much. I hate this team up. I hate this Adam team up because Star Lord and Mantis don't fucking die. Well, sorry, you kill them and then they res right on top of you, and then they just pop ult and win. Like you had to kill them. You finally killed them, right? Because some like Star Lord's not easy to kill unless you have Hela. And then he just self reses above point, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then he just goes back to being a menace. His team up also puts him here. I think he's arguably low A, but you know what? Adam players are terrible, so we'll put him there. Mantis is great ultimate, good CC, damage boost does wonders for characters like Spider-Man and Divers. Good on hit scans. Damage boost is really good. Her ult's good, gives overshield movement speed. Nothing. Her healing output isn't crazy, but she does a lot. Cloak and Dagger I'm putting here. Her ult isn't that consistent anymore, but she's not a bad character. Other than that, she has a high healing output. Pretty okay survivability. Her bubble's really good. Switching to cloak form and cloaking counters a lot of ults and can help your team out a lot. The only thing that sucks is that her ult low key isn't that good anymore. Like it works. It's not bad, but it's nothing compared to other ults. Jeff is bad. Jeff is bad. Jeff is terrible. Actually, nah. Let's be fair to Jeff. Jeff has potential. His ult is just god awful. His ult has too much. He has the same issue with Scarlet Witch. Jeff's ult has too much counterplay. Oh, speaking of random counterplay, by the way, Iron Fist can parry these two ults. Why? Why can Iron Fist parry these two ults? Why? But whatever, right? His damage isn't that great. His survivability is insane, which is actually why I'm putting him here. He doesn't die. Jeff does not die. His healing sucks, though. You have to run triple support to make him good. And you have to give him Luna team up, usually, for him to perform well. Mediocre character. Give him some love. Buff Jeff, man. Loki, yeah. Loki is amazing anti-dive. Good damage. High survivability. High healing. He can copy any ults in the game. Combo with DPSs, with extra DPS ults. Can copy tanks to get like a Strange ult or a Magneto ult to counter a defensive ult on their team. He has so many options and such high skill ceiling. And honestly, I think you should ban Loki if you play dive, because runes will screw you over. Luna, right here. Amazing ult. High healing. Good CC. Yeah. Her ult, making you invincible for like was it 8-10 seconds now is still amazing. So we're gonna leave it there. Rocket is actually here. Just every single like 99.9% of Rocket players are utter fucking dog shit. Amplifier's a good ult. It's you have to combo it with other people like Punisher, Star Lord ult. It's actually pretty good in combo because it deletes people. Bucky ult, it's really nice. You have to combo it with your DPS and tank ults. Like freaking like throw an amplifier when you hear like it's clobbering time or like whatever, right? So when your teammates like ult or whatever. Stop throwing your goddamn ults when nothing is going on. I swear to God, if I see one more Rocket, their Luna Snow is ulting and their Bucky pops ult, right? If I see one more Rocket say, "Hey team, enjoy the amplifier," wow, we're literally dying and can't enjoy the amplifier, I'm gonna crash out. Also, Rocket does insanely high damage. All you Rocket players that right click only are horrible. Rocket should also be hybriding damage as a third support and triple support. The only reason I don't think, and also Rez is overpowered. It is. It is actually overpowered. You can have a diver completely feed and try to trade a kill, and they instantly get Rez is insanely strong. The only thing that sucks about Rocket is his healing is not. He cannot sustain a whole team by himself. So you need a really good main healer like Luna or Invisible Woman. And he doesn't have a defensive ult, which is a downside, but honestly, Amplifier is such a good ability. Sorry, such a good ult. It's just all you Rocket players suck and don't use it right. Invisible Woman. Wait, sorry, I'm putting these characters in... I put these characters in A. My bad. My bad. I messed up. These two are S here. I forgot to... I was messing up. There you go. These two. There. Invisible Woman is right here. She has the best anti-dive kit of any support. Uh, she has really good healing output, okay damage. Her ult is also insanely strong. There's nothing else I have to say about it. Her team up that she gives Thing is really good. Gives him a really good survivability. Luna's also up here because Namor as well, him being insanely strong. But yeah, I'm going to leave this list like this. I think this is fine and pretty accurate, at least in my opinion. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, and feel free to roast me if you think it's bad or whatever, but at least explain why. Thank you, and see y'all some other time.